Hey guys, let's dive right into the actual water. So, Geronimo! What is up, everyone? I'm Sonic the Hedgehog here, and oh god, I hate water! Well, for my personal taste, unlike Mario, that he doesn't mind water, because unlike me, hedgehogs cannot swim at all. I'm just saying that right now. Anyways, hey, what's up everyone? I'm Sonic the Hedgehog here, and I'm back for some more of yet again for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Super Mario Sunshine for the Nintendo GameCube. So, last time we have managed to able to almost wrap things up with Dolphino Plaza. Sure, we actually did a lot of things in Dolphino Plaza this time, due to the forms of the blue coins and shine sprites, and also the Pachinko machine level of death, and also same applies to the lily pad of hell mission, because you guys should know what I mean. So today, for this episode right here, is the fact that we're going to be hit on to the 7th and possibly the final mission-based world before we get on to the actual Corona Mountain itself. And here we go, on to Pianta Village. And the first mission we have is, I would say Chomplet's Unchained, the first mission in this entire world. Now, what makes this a little bit different compared to the forms of the previous worlds is the fact that, depending on what missions you're going to be entering into, as you can see on this first mission in Pianta Village, this takes place in nighttime. Whenever we get on to the next mission beyond, specifically likely in the odd-numbered missions as well as the even-numbered missions, we actually get ourselves a day and night system, which either way, or the actual, the day and night element, which what really makes this unique all by itself is the fact that if you try to able to explore this world in nighttime, it just makes everything else looks really popping out. Especially how the fact that the actual colors itself just manage to go, oh my goodness, it is so colorful and bright, or anything like that. I do apologize for that specific awkward dialogue for that point, just because of how the fact that, well, as you can tell, because of how the fact that I'm still eating some of my glorious chili dogs as to be expected, so I can able to feel myself energized, and especially noticeable for what else, trying to able to get ourselves our next couple of blue coins and all that stuff. In fact, this will actually be the last world that we might able to actually consider doing. Not just the forms of the actual blue coins themselves, because whenever we get onto the actual finale portion of this game, specifically in Corona Mountain, which I'm sure most people already know what I'm talking about, but then again, no, we're not going to get into that during at some points. Well, usually going to be able to be spoiling for this for the most part. It will make it happen during at some point in next Monday, potentially, because today's day is the forms of, for the sake of this uploading schedule, is that today's day is the forms of the 27th of March. Not much else has been going on, sadly though, apart from the fact that I've recently managed to play through Mario Kart Tour recently, which is of course the actual Hammer Bro Tour, which I don't think I've actually mentioned about that ever since Journey Forms of on Wednesday. So what these the new things they managed to able to recently added this time around in when it comes to the Hammer Bro Tour as a result. For example, there was actually that one particular moment that obviously it takes place in the Hammer Bro Tour, as you know, and for what I've noticed, oh jeez, I couldn't imagine if I was going to be able to shove this droplet over to the water, and then that way we can able to do with a 2 combo reaction right here. So yeah, in this mission, as you can see, all we need to do is basically we need to get these chain trampolines onto the water, and there are about 3 of them to able to actually just to do this. So either way though, that's all you really have to do in this mission. So it's not too complicated or anything like that, but the major challenge with this world so far is the fact that I'm considering this to be one of the hardest worlds in the game. This is probably because every now and then, the actual goob was now in fire as opposed to electric in the, ever since in Corona Beach. But every now and then, though, is the fact that we actually come across into a fire goop. So just makes things a little bit harder for ourselves, but at least even then, though, yeah, as you can tell, that everything else is all in fire. Although, I'm pretty sure it might only happen in Journey forms of, in this world in potential, because, well, I don't know what I truly explain about this for the sake of time. Clearly because there's not much else I can speak of, so Anyway, so come here, Chomplet, and let's just keep on spraying at him in case if we need to pull the actual chain thing at the bottom. And hopefully we need to guide him to the actual water. Thankfully, there's only one spot in particular, because I don't think there's any water on that specific, you know, with that bowl-shaped kind of pool. So the only method is just basically we need to drag this, this Chomplet into the forms of the actual water, as you can see. So, and once you've done all three of them, then basically the Shine Sprite will be yours to obtain. So, and in fact it's going to be located onto the actual on top of that specific mushroom right here. So, but before we deal with that, however, though, there's actually another blue coin that's been hidden in this little hole over there. And then, thankfully, we can able to actually just to gather ourselves even more blue coins to our disposal. So, in fact, we're almost getting close towards the end of the forms of the blue coins hunting and stuff like that. Because once we're done with those specific blue coins collectathon, as you can tell, that means we can no longer try to able to worry about some specific stuff. So, yeah, that's how it goes, basically. Because we've already just managed to come across into, some good placement of those blue coins, while some of them can be like outright tedious, likely with the ones in Gelato Beach, that one of the blue coins just went out of bounds and stuff like that, or went for the invisible wall. But anyways, episode 2, Il Pantissimo's Crazy Climb. In this case, the final installment of the forms of the racing challenges. And this one might be considered to be the hardest of the three. But honestly, it's actually not too hard or not too difficult either, so either way. Before we deal with him, however, though, as you can see, we now ended up on Pianta Village on the daytime this time. So, seems it's pretty cool all in all, because that makes this world super unique. So anyways, let's go ahead and talk to this Il Partissimo for the final time. And then he'll discuss about the films of how the fact that the flag itself is going to be onto those huge trees this time, so... And this time he'll beat it for 30 seconds as opposed to 35 in Gelato Beach, or even 40 seconds in Nuki Bay. So, it's what I'm pointing out right away. I believe in the Japanese version of this world, it usually just calls it, monthly village, which I think that's what it's actually going for this point. But either way, though, it's been such a long while since I actually managed to play through the Japanese version or just look upon the Japanese version of the game. So before we're able to obtain a Shine Sprite, basically we'll get ourselves a blue coin in the process. So thankfully that'll be the case. So there we go, we basically managed to accomplish that. And the final thing before we move on is the fact that, you know, with the Il Partissimo, you know, with that specific man in the costume, that's actually a reference to something related to the Legend of Zelda. Specifically, I don't know if it's in Ocarina of Time or the, well, I would say in Ocarina of Time most likely, because as far as I'm aware, the Majora's Mask may able to actually also include him as well. But then again, I haven't really touched upon that much of Zelda stuff since in 2017 for retrospective for, you know, Breath of the Wild's release. So, episode 3, the Goopy Inferno. So let's dive right in, and... What? How come we got the exact same scene as the forms of how it does it when you're trying to first time exploring through this secret course? Oh, wait a minute. The flood was now all the way over there. So this means, differently from the previous missions, including the majority of the missions in this world, as you can see in this particular beginning portion of this world, we no longer have flood from now on, so instead, we need to carefully navigate through for this entirety of the entire lava goop, because every time you're able to touch the lava goop, you will expect to get hit a lot. Although, as you can see on screen, I was able to perform a nice shortcut right there, so I can able to ignore that path, but most of the time I keep on failing for that stuff because, well, as you guys can clearly tell, I was able to try to perform a spin jump, but either way though, it seems a little bit more tricky to perform. So let's try this again, and hopefully we'll try to succeed for this point. So yeah, that's as far as I can usually think about it. So, in fact, most people seem to always attempt to dive for the first time, or as always. well, they always attempt to die a lot during new forms of whenever they first time playing the game. So, yeah, as a result, this is definitely one of the more trickier missions in the game, because in addition to able to actually not having yourselves flood with you, instead they have to carefully navigate through, unless if you really want to go for a normal pathway, which is, the game really encourages you. Oh, we haven't seen these guys for a long while, ever since during new forms of, well, I would say in the beginning of this game, so, oh, goodness gracious, that was so lucky. Oh, okay. Okay, at least we got there, and hopefully we should be able to, oh, Jesus Louise. Sometimes with the actual, the fire goop, as you can tell, it does feel pretty much lacking with invincibility frames, so as a result, you're expecting to be able to get hit by a lava stuff a lot, so, yeah, just keep that in mind, so, alright, so here comes the actual trickiest part, we'll simply try to perform that specific stuff, although before we do that, actually, there was actually a blue coin that's going to be hidden here, but that always happens to me, especially other Let's Players itself. Like, what the hell just happened right there? I was expecting to able to perform a somersault in order to be able to actually reach into this highest leaves. Like, specifically if I was trying to get myself a blue coin and all that. But most of the time, it's just oh well, we'll try that again. Thankfully, you can able to actually skip that little, mini cutscene as you can see right there. Unlike in, well, you know, you get the idea for that point, so... Again, must admit that I do apologize with the lack of commentary for the sake of time, folks, just because there's not much else to say about this, apart from the fact that, well, you know, with the Mario Kart Tour, Hammer Bro Tour that just usually came out, well, I'll discuss more about it until any second, because for now on, I just need to mainly focusing on, this for now on, and hopefully I'm also able to success for this point, hopefully without even, like, falling off and everything. And as you can see in the background, we actually have ourselves Gelato Beach, in addition with Pino Park as well in the background. So yeah, that's super cool and everything. So anyways, there we go. We did manage to make it for this specific segment. And also, let's get ourselves our curious blue coin. So we got 30 of them left, so hopefully we would be able to actually grab the rest during that specific time. So yeah, that's how you can... That's as far as you can usually think about it. Oh, goodness gracious me, that was close. Alright, let's just go over here without even slipping off. Okay, come on. There we go. So now we make it for this point here. And this is the moment of truth. If you really want to, don't be bothered to go for these little cages and stuff. Let's go ahead and just perform. Let's just go for this running start and the dive. And, oh yeah, we did manage to make it. So, oh, son of a biscuit. I wonder who's just managed to able to toss all these, a lot of fiery... Oh, jeez! Okay, come on. Thank you. Oh, that was pretty close right there. I almost gonna expect it able to actually just, get died by the forms of, or get killed by the lava itself. When you reach for this specific point right there, then you can now finally get able to actually get your chance to able to utilize with, the flood thing again. But before we get on to the actual main mission, which as far as you guys can clearly tell, basically the entire mission itself is the fact that we need to clean up that Pianta so that way we can able to actually just to complete the mission. However, before we do that actually, as I said before, we need to take care of the forms of the actual 3 exclusive blue coins on this mission, such as one we've already just done almost to the top of the golden mushroom, and also there's another one which features a ginormous Shadow Mario graffiti right there. And the third one, we need to able to once again clear out the fire with that, specifically with that exact same Pianta as you can see. So hopefully we would be able to actually just get the fire out of it. And then when you've done so already, then you would get yourselves another blue coin. So 213 of those blue coins, and we're just about 27 left to go. So even then though, that I need to double check of how many blue coins that we actually got at this point. But then again though, we'll find out later on in Journey Forms of Tomorrow. So And also at the same time though is the fact that we're actually going pretty close towards the end of March already. So spoiler warning for those of you who want to know when this Let's Play is going to be finished. Well, turns out it was going to be at the end of March. So even then though, it's a perfect opportunity that we can able to actually consider this fact. Before we're able to actually get to him, however though, since after all we did manage to give him a nice clean scrub of water. Basically all we need to do is just spray onto that moon, and that way we would get ourselves the, what else? Another blue coin. So, when you deal with him or however though, then you would able to get yourselves a shine sprite. And it's a perfect opportunity too, because as you can see on this water tank, I almost completely run out of the water tank, which thankfully we've still got plenty of water for, you know, for the sake of the forms of trying to clean up the Pianta himself. And also trying to able to get ourselves our next blue coin. So I think it only happens during the night time, specifically if you're trying to get that blue coin from that moon. So just want to classify that, and yeah, that's all I can say. Next mission we have is episode 4, Chain Chomp's Bath, or Bath as what it's known for. In this mission, it's kind of like the same thing for how it does it in those Chomp lids as in the first episode, except we have to deal with the Chain Chomp himself this time. And also what makes this a little bit different is the fact that obviously this takes place in daytime as opposed to nighttime. And also, same applies to the forms of how the fact that in order to actually just give him, well, the actual main emphasis on this is the fact that we still need to get a lot of emphasis on pulling up the chain and stuff, except rather than just pulling the chain and just let go in order to actually just to fling them, instead we need to drag the chain chomp to the bath itself. So yeah, as a result, that's the entire purpose of this mission. So yeah, that's how it goes basically. So even then though, yeah. So yeah, about with the forms of the Mario Kart Tour, the new tour that's been added in with the Hammer Bro Tour, as I established that before. In addition to able to actually having ourselves a returning track from Super Mario Kart, basically, which is of course Donut Plains 1, which I'm very glad that has been returned for the second time, or the third time I should say, since, you know, Super Mario Kart, as well as Mario Kart DS, and now we got ourselves that track return in Mario Kart Tour, which is pretty cool though, but either way though, for somehow they got ourselves the actual retro, the original soundtrack version of Donut Plains 1 this time, so yeah, that makes it obvious. So, and the reason why I'm carrying this barrel, despite the fact that my strategy doesn't work out half the time, so what I thought to ourselves is the fact that we have to do the same strategy as the forms of how it does it on that electric goop mission. So yeah, if you try and manage to soak him in, then basically he'll goes in black into its normal, and basically just drag him onto the bath, and he somehow transforms into his golden version of himself, and that way the shine sprites will immediately appear as soon as he got on top of the actual the golden chain chomp itself. So yeah, it's very simple, but even then though it starts to get a little bit, I won't say dragged on, but it's just that depending on what playthroughs you're going to be going into, sometimes it might take a while to able to actually just to finish that mission sometimes, so yeah, that's how it goes basically. So either way though, 42 extra lives so far. Well, I would say 42, but to be more accurate, 43 so far, so it's one to point it out. Episode 5, Secret of the Village Underside. In this case, the final mission that has been involved around the actual obstacle course. So in this case, we need to go all the way down to the bottom part, while there's going to be some tons of mushrooms to able to actually just a platform on. And I think fundamentally speaking is the fact that by pursuing this mission, we're able to actually just make things, excuse me, it just makes things a little bit easy for ourselves to able to take on the forms of the final 100 coin shine sprite in the entire game. So okay, we got 15 of those blue coins so far, so naturally speaking we're actually on the halfway point of it already. So but yeah, you get the idea for that little specific tidbits and stuff. So either way, the yeah, in addition to able to actually bringing back Donut Plains 1 from Super Mario Kart, they also managed to bring back another returning track from the forms of, well, from a different Mario Kart game, which is of course Mario Kart Super Circuit, which is good because we have not seen any new tracks or some new tracks returning from Mario Kart Super Circuit since Bowser Castle 1, but now we got ourselves Bowser's Castle 2 for the Game Boy Advance, specifically from Mario Kart Super Circuit, which is cool because even then though, since they actually already revisit that since, well, it did first appear in obviously Mario Kart Super Circuit, but it's also, they managed to bring that back in Mario Kart DS, and now they finally managed to bring that track back in new forms of in Mario Kart Tour, so with updated visuals and everything. And it also makes things a little bit different compared to the forms of the original counterpart, is that obviously it no longer has the actual long rectangular lava pool or anything like that. So anyway. And this is the final time you're going to be seeing this scene right there, because here we go on to possibly the hardest of the obstacle course stages, which as you can see, they have a ton of Piantas, which if you couldn't tell already, the actual element of this stage is that as soon as we talk to one of those Piantas like this one for instance, I'm a chuckster. Which basically is all about just tossing you into different parts of the actual platform syndrome. So anyways, let's start to this one over here, and hopefully it'll just lead me to the forms of the actual wall. And let's start to this one that instead of tossing me from further ahead, instead he'll toss me all the way higher up, and start to this one over here to get to the other side, I suppose. So I'm a chuckster. And this last one right there, it doesn't matter which pathways you're going to be going into, but the ones we need to aim for is, of course, this giant sprite as you can see right there. And the hardest one of the bunch on this particular obstacle course is this guy. It doesn't matter, you have to be so accurate with the angle if you're trying to aim it just like so. And, oh yes! First try! First try on this mission! Even though some people seem to have ourselves a whole bunch of deaths on this mission, probably because of this last section has always been the hardest of the bunch. This is probably because of how the fact that you always have to judge your angles with trying to able to let the chuckster Pianta were able to actually tossing you onto that specific shine sprite itself. So, that sure was something when it comes to like achieving the first attempt on that mission without any deaths whatsoever. So anyways, let's head back onto episode 5 once again and able to actually obtain ourselves the first secret shrine sprite in Pianta Village. So either way though, to be expected we need to go through the red coins challenge. So either way, I think this will be the last time whenever we go onto the forms of the secret obstacle courses when it comes to doing the red coin challenges at this for the sake of time. So even then though, as to be expected at that point. So, and also one thing I forgot to mention is the fact that in that particular, you know, with that secret obstacle course that we've already went into, the actual background is actually a lot different than the forms of the usual backgrounds that we've already got in the past. Which I think this time around though is actually based off from, well, specifically the entire background and the skies from Pianta Village itself. So, I guess that makes it pretty obvious to see how the fact that how come the actual color scheme of the Shine Sprite is actually a little bit more significantly different than, you know, any other Shine Sprites for that matter, but either way though, I'm just a little bit too convincing for myself, so. But before we're able to get onto the actual secret Shine Sprite on the other hand, let's go ahead and obtain the next blue coin, such as this one over here. And I think we've already got ourselves 17 of those blue coins so far, so I think we've got ourselves 13 more left, so hopefully we'll grab the rest until whenever we get on to. Actually, let's go ahead and grab the another blue coin that's going to be in specifically in this area, so hopefully without too much trouble involved around in here. So either way though, that's to be expected. This actually leads me to, I don't think it's going to lead me to that specific segment I was going to be hoped for, but either way though, we'll jump back up again if my timing itself was a little bit wasn't exactly too accurate at points. So oh yeah, something's worth mentioning is the fact that after all, that we still ended up in new forms of the Hammer Bro Tour in the Mario Kart Tour game. in addition to able to actually bringing back into ourselves two returning tracks from the past, in addition with those, we also managed to able to get ourselves not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 counterparts of some sort of like Hammer Bro enemy types, which obviously one is obvious is Hammer Bro, because it's about time to able to now have him on a kart racing Mario Kart game, which about time, because even then though originally they were about to include him on Mario Kart Wii, but it's somehow scrapped. So in addition to having Hammer Bro, we also got ourselves Burrowing Bro, which is pretty cool honestly, and also we got ourselves Fire Bro, and finally Ice Bro, which I think the reason why they're going to be added in those other 3 counterparts of the Bro enemies themselves is the fact that with, obviously with the special items they actually utilize with, like the Hammer Bro for instance, obviously utilizes the, obviously a simple hammer, and also the Ice Bro were able to get a lot of emphasis on, I would say, the Ice Flower, and also Fire Bros can be for the Fire Flower, and finally, for the Burrowing Bro, it was actually, of course, the Burrowing Flower. So, I think that's why I can consider this to be guessing and such. So, anyway, though, that's as far as I can usually think about it. So, alright, so, yeah, I don't think there's any way we could able to just double check or anything like that, but regardless of such, we got that 1 blue coin from underneath the actual level. So, let's go ahead and grab some more lives in case of the forms of the final frontier coming up. So either way though, we'll expect it to able to actually grab some more 1-ups in case. So, beyond I digress. So, I think that's as far as I can say, unfortunately for you guys, apart from the fact that we'll discuss more stuff until tomorrow, specifically when it gets to likely on Saturday, because in addition to able to having ourselves some more stuff during new forms of, oh yeah, I should probably like to mention about the forms of the Sonic 2020 broadcast thing during today, but I'll save that until tomorrow, in case if I would like to discuss upon some more information in terms of everything Sonic related. So, at least we got that at least. So, anyway, let's go ahead and climb all the way up, and I don't really think there's anything up there though, apart from the fact that I always have to make sure I have to double check on certain surroundings in case there is any blue coins hidden about. So, oh jeez, oh phew, that was close. I almost got able to actually fell off again, unlike the ones in Gooby Inferno, that usually I just keep on falling off most of the time on that particular mission because I was trying to perform a nice shortcut so that I can able to skip certain segments of that front. So, yeah, I think that's more likely considering, so. Anyways, let's grab this coconut to Yoshi, and in fact, fundamentally speaking, this will be the final time we're going to be using Yoshi for the majority of it. Well, it wasn't until whenever we get onto the 100 coin Shine Sprite, which I think the recommendation for that is going to be on episode 5, because I can definitely see, because we're still on episode 5 right now, this means we have ourselves tons of coins to collect. So yeah, as a result, I think I might as well able to consider to do that. So, but we'll do that after we're done through the majority of the missions in this world. So, and after that though, we're focusing on the final 100 coin Shine Sprite in the whole game, and everything else will come together. So either way though, let's go ahead and dive right back in here and, well, take on the forms of what else? The Red Coin Challenge. So hopefully we would be able to actually come across into no Tron error on this. So hopefully it would be able to make it. I'm not sure if it's possible or not. So anyways, let's go ahead and, you know, just get a Chuckster ready. So, or alternatively, you can able to actually skip these little segments by simply just, you know, get a lot of emphasis on Flood. So, I always like doing that, because that way, as you can tell on the time limit thing, it does manage to able to start within 1 minute and 30 seconds. So, yeah, you really don't able to actually just to waste your time on. So, anyways though, so let's go ahead and take care of these guys. And in fact, similar to the forms of the ones in Peanut Park, in you know, with the cannon secret, they always attempt to able to respawn every time because of that particular picture right there. Crap, 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 crap! Man, I just could not believe it right there. That camera right there just sometimes screws me over most of the time. Especially I was trying to able to land onto that, specifically for that tightrope, but most of the time I keep on just screwing things up. I think this is potentially the hardest part about this mission for me sometimes, is that not just the actual chucksters, it's more accurate, the actual trying to land on that specific tightrope, because if you do not land it properly, then chances are you might as well able to accidentally fall off. So, yeah, definitely one of the hardest parts about this mission for me, so, but I digress. But don't worry, this is the final time we're going to be able to come across into those segments, as you can see, with the actual secret obstacle course in mind. Although this is not the final time just yet for those red coin missions, because there was actually 2 more red coin missions to go through, which is specifically just the forms of how to fact that, well, you know. Alright, so let's go ahead and just be very careful right here, and... What?! That just always gets to me. That just always gets to me with that, specifically for that, you know, for that dang... well, it's nothing to do with the actual tightrope and everything. It's to be more accurate, the camera angle sometimes messes me up at points, which... I'm really hoping I can able to get a adjust of the actual camera at one point, and then hopefully we would be able to do it successfully, so... But I mean, jeez Louise, man, jeez Louise. Anyway, let's go ahead and just get tossed higher up. I think this is the only Pianta that I was going to be able to be something related for when it comes to this particular red coin challenges, because unlike in the normal main mission, which is of course in episode 5, they have to get a lot of emphasis on, you know, the chuckster kind of heavy at one point, so yeah, you get the idea for that. So anyways, let's go ahead and grab that red coin, and then we'll grab another one which is on the actual the tightrope itself, so hopefully we would be able to actually come across to that. And let's just go ahead and I'm not ready. No! Oh, thank goodness I managed to land there safely. But yeah, that's just come across as like nerve-wracking for me sometimes. But anyway, let's just go ahead and, you know, just hover from the other side. Hopefully we would be able to get ourselves the final 2 red coins, and there we go. Oh wait, 3 attempts aside, it's actually not bad, even though sometimes the actual camera angle on that tightrope sometimes can get a little bit of a problematic, I feel like, so... But anyway, 89 Shine Sprites, and I think we might as well do one more mission from now on, which is of course the next one is going to be on episode 6, and hopefully we should be able to be sorted for the most part. So, anyways, let's go back into Pianta Village and just, you know, trying to do some, well, what else? Some more missions involved. Episode 6, Piantas in Need, not to be confused as the Children's in Need, or Children in Need, from those charity stuff, but that's besides the point. So in this mission right there, I think we need to help out every single Piantas by simply able to restore their cleanness involved. Oh no, I just went away for a bit, and now what happened? I can't believe it. Another fine mess, and it's such a doozy. So even though some of these villagers are now trapped in this little burning ooze, then basically we need to just help them out. And there are about 10 of those Piantas we need to save, but in addition to able to do that stuff though, we need to deal with a time limit. So we've got about 3 minutes to do this, so hopefully we would be able to actually just to do this in time. In addition to able to actually clean up some of those Piantas, as you can tell, I think some of them might able to give you, of course, the actual blue coins occasionally, whilst most of the time, it doesn't seem to give you something, unless there is actually a one-off mission that will give us something, so... But I digress, so let's go ahead and just, you know, clean those Piantas up, and thanks for giving me a chuckster right there. And let's go ahead and grab ourselves the first blue coin right here on this for the sake of this mission, and grab another one from that Pianta. So yeah, everything will be able to be twice as simple. So alright, so at least the actual music is actually a lot different compared to the forms of how it does it on you know, the previous missions, because obviously we need to help out the majority of the Piantas already. So either way though, there's another one over here. Hopefully we'll give him a nice little sparkly cleanness of goodness. And get ourselves another blue coin. So we got 20 more left in terms of those blue coins and mines. So even then, we are getting there, folks. We are definitely getting there. So as far as getting to the main final world in the game, which is of course Corona Mountain at one point, we'll able to actually discuss more about it whenever we're able to. Oh, you idiot, stupid squid. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get ourselves another blue coin from that particular Pianta. If you already managed to able to actually get these blue coins from the first run through, you can able to do this mission again, and instead of giving you the blue coin, instead it actually gives you just the one-up mushroom, which I think, if I recall that correctly, or maybe I'm wrong, but then again, we'll definitely see what happens until, well, I don't know, I don't think I can able to show you guys anyway, because I'm just trying to do the main missions for you guys. So either way though, let's just go ahead and I think we've only got 3 left, so hopefully we still got enough time for doing so already. So even then though, let's go ahead and clean this mini Pianta here. And this one actually gives us nothing, so I'm pretty sure it's pretty obvious because these small Piantas doesn't give you anything, but the bigger ones, specifically the adult ones, does manage to give you something at least. So there's another blue coin here. So we got 224, so I think we got about 16 left, so we are still so close towards the end. And there's the last Pianta right here, and what do we get for the final Pianta to clean up for? Is of course another blue coin. So yeah, I guess we are basically done for this point. So now we need to return back into the beginning portion of this world at the starting point, and then basically talk to that Pianta that just constantly run about all of a sudden. So either way though, let's go ahead and just, you know, talk to him if the B button will show up. And there we go, we actually get ourselves a nice shine sprite to top it off. And fundamentally speaking is the fact that we got ourselves 26 of those blue coins. I think we actually got ourselves 4 more left in terms of blue coins in mind. So yeah, we are almost done for Pianta Village. So yeah, I guess with that being said, we got the endings of this point here. So join me next time on Let's Play Super Mario Sunshine. Is the fact that we might able to actually just to finish up with Pianta Village by able to get ourselves the last few shine sprites, and also the final 4 blue coins and the final 100 coin shine sprite, and everything else for the most part. Yeah, so see you guys until tomorrow. Later, fellas.